Dr. Jibola refused to work, even though he was a trained medical doctor. Why? Because 3 different women were paying for everything. His apartment, his car, his jewelry, his entire luxury lifestyle. 100 million naira from women who thought they were his only girlfriend. Valentine's Day 2026, all 3 showed up at his apartment at the same time.
What are you looking for in here? Who are you? If you both don't start talking right now, there's going to be serious consequences. You are a joke. This is my boyfriend's apartment.
Each one holding a key he'd given them. The look on his face when they all realized the truth. Priceless, but what these women did after that moment changed everything. This is the story of how 3 strangers became sisters and took down Lagos's most dangerous playboy. You won't believe what happens next. This moment is just the tip of the iceberg. Hit that like button and subscribe quickly. Let's begin. The sun was hot that Valentine's Day afternoon. Very hot. The kind of heat that makes your clothes stick to your skin. Amara sat in the back of the Uber, holding red roses. Her hands were shaking a little, not from fear, from excitement. She looked at herself in her phone camera one more time. The red Ankara dress looked perfect. Her makeup was nice. Everything was perfect. Because today was special. Today she would surprise her boyfriend, Jibola. My boyfriend, she thought, smiling. Even thinking those words made her happy. She was 32 years old. She had a good job at an advertising company. She made good money. She had her own car, her own apartment in Surulere. She was independent, but she was lonely. Until she met Jibola 6 months ago. He was different from other men. Tall, handsome, a doctor, but more than that, and he made her feel seen. Like she mattered, like she was special. When he told her he was looking for an apartment, she didn't think twice. She paid 4.5 million naira for a year's rent in Lekki Phase 1. You don't have to do this, he'd said, looking into her eyes. I want to, she'd replied. I want to help you. And she meant it. Because when you love someone, you help them, right? The Uber stopped in front of the apartment building. Her apartment building. Well, technically his now, but she'd paid for it. She got out. The security man waved at her. He knew her. She came here often.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon,
Good
Ma,
afternoon.
he said, smiling. Good afternoon, she replied, trying to keep her voice calm even though her heart was beating fast. She wanted this surprise to be perfect. She climbed the stairs. 2nd floor, apartment 2B. She'd memorized the number long ago. At the door, she pulled out her key. He'd given it to her 3 months ago. For emergencies, he'd said, kissing her forehead. And for times when you miss me and can't wait. She put the key in the lock, turned it, pushed the door open. The smile on her face died. The apartment was full of decorations. Red balloons everywhere, rose petals on the floor, candles burning, making the room smell like vanilla and roses. It was beautiful. It was romantic. It was not for her. Because standing in the middle of her living room, the living room in the apartment she paid for, was another woman. Ngozi had arrived 30 minutes earlier. She'd used her own key, the one Jibola gave her 2 months ago. She'd walked in expecting to find him alone, ready to surprise him with the Valentine's gift she'd been planning for weeks. Instead, she found this: the decorations, the setup, the romantic atmosphere. At first, her heart jumped. He did this for me, she thought. He's planning something special. But then doubt crept in. Why would he set all this up when he didn't know she was coming? Ngozi was 35. She owned 3 restaurants in Lagos, one in Victoria Island, one in Lekki, one in Ikea. She was successful. She was smart. She didn't believe in fairy tales. But Jibola made her believe again. When she met him 8 months ago, she'd just come out of a terrible relationship. A man who only wanted her money, who saw her restaurants and saw dollar signs. I'm not like that, Jibola had told her on their third date. I don't care about your money. I care about you. The real you. She'd believed him when he told her he needed a car for his medical work. House calls to patients, he said. She bought him a Mercedes G-Wagon, 75 million Naira. She didn't blink. You're too good to me, he'd said, tears in his eyes. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do, she'd replied, holding his face. You deserve everything good. Now, standing in this decorated apartment, she felt something cold in her stomach, something that whispered, this is wrong. She walked around the room, touched the balloons, counted the place settings at the table. 4 plates, 4 glasses, 4 sets of silverware. Why 4? She was still trying to figure it out when she heard the key in the lock. She turned toward the door. It opened, and another woman walked in. Younger, pretty, holding wool roses. The woman froze when she saw Ngozi. Ngozi froze when she saw the woman. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then the younger woman said, her voice small and confused, Who are you?
Who are you?
Funmi showed up 15 minutes after Amara. She'd been running late. A meeting at her hotel, Nesapi. Hotel, the 5-star hotel she owned, had gone longer than expected. But she'd rushed out anyway because today was Valentine's Day. And Jibola had been hinting all week that he had something special planned. You're going to love it, he texted that morning. Trust me. She trusted him. Of course she did. Funmi was 28. Young, but already more successful than most people twice her age. Her father was Senator Okafor. Her mother had died when she was young. She was an only child. Her father had spoiled her with money, but never with time. So she'd learned to build her own empire. The hotel was hers. She'd designed it, funded it, managed it. It made her millions every month. 2 million Naira was nothing to her. Pocket money. So, when Jibola mentioned he needed monthly support while he worked on his medical research, she didn't hesitate. 2 million Naira every month for 8 months. 16 million Naira total. She'd also furnished his apartment. Every single thing. The couch, the TV, the bed, the kitchen equipment. 3.8 million Naira worth of furniture. I want our home to be beautiful, she told him. Our home, he'd repeated, kissing her. I love the sound of that. Now, walking up to apartment 2B, she felt excited, happy, in love. She knocked on the door instead of using her key. She wanted the surprise to be mutual. The door opened, but it wasn't Jibola standing there. It was a woman, tall, elegant, wearing a silver dress. Behind her, Funmi could see another woman, younger, in red, looking shocked. Funmi said, confused. Is this apartment 2B? Yes, the woman in silver said. Her voice was cold. And you are? I'm Funmi, Jibola's girlfriend. I'm here to... She stopped. Because the look on both women's faces told her everything she needed to know. Something was very, very wrong. Now all 3 women stood in the living room, staring at each other. Amara felt like she couldn't breathe. Her chest was tight. Her mind was screaming, this isn't happening. This can't be happening. Ngozi felt cold all over, like someone had dumped ice water on her head. Her hands were shaking. Funmi felt numb, like this was a dream, a nightmare, like she'd wake up any second. Who are you? Amara asked again, louder this time, looking at Ngozi. I'm Ngozi, the elegant woman said. Her voice was steady. but her eyes were not. Jibola's girlfriend, I've been dating him for 8 months. 8 months? Amara's voice cracked. That's when I started dating him too. Both women turned to look at Funmi. 10 months, Funmi whispered. I've been with him for 10 months. The room went completely silent. You could hear the candles flickering, the sound of cars outside, someone's phone buzzing. But inside that apartment, 3 women stood frozen, each one realizing the same terrible truth. They'd been played. Amara's legs felt weak. She sat down on the couch, the beautiful leather couch she remembered Jibola showing her pictures of. Look what I bought for us, he'd said. But he hadn't bought it. Funmi had. I paid for this apartment, Amara said, her voice shaking. 4.5 million naira. 6 months ago, he said he needed help. Ngozi laughed. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It was the sound of something breaking. I bought him a car. Mercedes G-Wagon. 75 million naira. 5 months ago. Funmi closed her eyes, took a deep breath, opened them again. I've been sending him 2 million naira every month. For 8 months. That's 16 million naira. Plus, I furnished this entire apartment. Every single thing you see here, I paid for it. The numbers hung in the air like smoke. 4.5 million naira, 75 million naira, 16 million naira, plus 3.8 million naira for furniture. Almost 100 million naira from 3 different women to 1 man. I'm going to be sick, Amara said. She put her head between her knees. Ngozi walked to the window, looked out at Lagos. The city looked normal, people going about their lives, but her world was ending. If Funmi just stood there, tears running down her face, not making a sound, just crying silently. How did we not know? Amara finally asked. How did I not see this? Because he was good, Ngozi said bitterly. He knew exactly what to say, exactly how to make us feel special. He told me I was different from other women, Funmi said softly, that I understood him, that I saw the real him. He told me the same thing, Amara whispered. Me too, Ngozi added. More silence. Then they heard it, a key turning in the lock. All 3 women turned toward the door. It opened slowly, and there he was. Jibola, tall, handsome, perfect skin, perfect smile, perfect everything. He was wearing the Rolex that Ngozi bought him, the designer shoes that Amara bought him, carrying shopping bags from ShopRite. He saw them, all 3 of them, and standing in his apartment, looking at him. For exactly 3 seconds, Amara watched his face. She saw him thinking, calculating, looking for a way out. Then he smiled, that beautiful, perfect smile that had made her fall in love with him. And she realized he thought he could talk his way out of this. He actually thought his smile would save him.
Ladies, I know this looks bad, but I can explain.
He said, his voice smooth as silk. Amara felt something inside her snap. Not break, snap, like a rope that had been pulled too tight for too long. Explain? She said. Her voice was quiet, dangerous.
You're going to explain why you're dating 3 women at the same time?
It's not what you think. Then what is it? Ngozi cut him off. Her voice was sharp as a knife.
Please tell us what exactly
is it? Jibola set down his shopping bags. Edith took a breath and started talking. And what he said made everything so much worse. I never meant to hurt anyone, Jibola said. He looked sincere. He sounded sincere. That was the worst part. I was trying to figure out my feelings, trying to understand what I really wanted.
By dating 3 women?
Funmi's voice was ice.
By taking our money?
By taking our money? I never asked for money, Jibola said quickly. Too quickly. You all offered. You all wanted to help me. I just I accepted. Amara stood up, walked toward him, stopped 3 feet away. You told me you loved me, she said. Her voice was shaking. You said I was the only one. I do love you. Don't. Amara held up her hand. Don't you dare say that word right now. Jibola looked at Ngozi. Ngozi, you know how I feel about you. What we have is special.
Is it? Is it special, or am I just another ATM machine?
Ngozi asked. That's not fair. Funmi's voice exploded through the room. You want to talk about fair? I gave you everything. My money, my time, my heart. I introduced you to my friends. I was planning our future. And this whole time, you were doing the same thing with 2 other women? I was confused, Jibola said. I'm only human. I made mistakes. Mistakes, Amara repeated. She laughed. It sounded wrong, broken. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is being late for a date. This is not a mistake. This is calculated. This is planned. This is evil.
I'm not evil.
Not evil, Jibola said. And he looked hurt. Actually hurt. Like he was the victim here. That's when Amara understood. He really didn't think he'd done anything wrong. You're a doctor, she said slowly. You studied medicine. You could be working right now. You could have a job, a career, a life you built yourself. But instead, you chose this. Why? Jibola's face changed. The mask slipped for just a second. Why should I work 80 hours a week for 300,000 naira a month when I can live like this? He gestured around the apartment, at the expensive furniture, the big TV, the luxury. I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table. My looks, my charm, my company, these things have value. Why should I settle for less than I deserve? There it was. The truth. He genuinely believed he deserved their money, deserved to live in luxury without working, deserved to be paid just for being handsome. Ngozi walked up to him, looked him in the eye. Give me the car keys, she said. What? The Mercedes. It's in my name. I want the keys. Now. Ngozi, I just don't be like this. Now, Jibola jumped. He'd never heard her yell before. Slowly, he reached into his pocket, pulled out the car keys, handed them to her. Ngozi took them. Her hand was shaking, but her voice was steady. You're going to pack a bag, she said, and you're going to leave tonight. This is my apartment. No, Amara interrupted. It's mine. I paid for it, and I want you out. You can't just... We can, Funmi said. And we will. Every piece of furniture in here? Mine. I have receipts, I have bank statements, I have proof. And if you don't leave quietly, I will call the police. The police? Jibola laughed. And tell them what? That you gave me money and now you want it back? That's not illegal. No, Funmi said quietly. But fraud is. And I'm Senator Okafor's daughter. My lawyers are very good. I want to test them. Jibola's face went pale. For the first time since he walked in, he looked scared. You wouldn't, he said. Try me. The standoff lasted forever and no time at all. Finally, Jibola grabbed his phone and wallet. You'll regret this, he said. All of you. You had something good here. You had me, and you're throwing it away. No, Amara said softly. We're throwing away trash. There's a difference. He stared at her, then at Ngozi, then at Funmi. Then he walked out, slammed the door, and he was gone. The 3 women stood in the apartment. In the silence he left behind. Then Amara started crying. Not soft crying. Hard, ugly crying. The kind that comes from deep in your chest. Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. Funmi sank to the floor, her designer dress pooling around her. They cried for different reasons. Amara cried because she felt stupid. She was supposed to be smart, supposed to be careful. How did she not see this? Ngozi cried because she'd trusted again. She'd opened her heart again, and it got destroyed again. Vunmi cried because she was lonely. So lonely. And she'd thought Jibola would fix that, but he'd just made it worse. They cried in that apartment, surrounded by furniture bought with one woman's money, in a space paid for with another's. All while a third had been sending monthly payments to a man who never needed them. He just wanted them, wanted the lifestyle, the luxury, the easy money. And they'd given it to him because they were lonely, because they wanted love, because a handsome man with a sweet voice told them they were special. Time passed. Minutes, maybe hours. Finally, Amara wiped her eyes, looked at the other two women. I have a question, she said. What? Ngozi asked. Do we cry? Or do we fight back? Funmi looked up from the floor. What do you mean? I mean, Amara stood up, straightened her dress. I mean, we can sit here and feel sorry for ourselves. Or we can make sure he never does this to anyone else. How? Ngozi asked. Amara smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. We tell everyone, we expose him, we make sure every woman in Lagos knows what he is. That's public, Funmi said slowly. Everyone will know we got played. Yes, Amara agreed. They will, and some people will laugh at us. Some people will say we were stupid. Some people will judge us. So why do it? Ngozi asked. Because some women will be saved. Some women will see his face and know to run. Some women will read our story and recognize their own boyfriend's tactics. And maybe we turn our embarrassment into something useful. The three women looked at each other. Three strangers, connected by one man's betrayal. Three successful women, reduced to marks in a con game. Three hearts broken by the same person. But in that moment, something changed. The crying stopped. The shame started to metamorphose into anger. And the anger became fuel. I'm in, Ngozi said. Me too, Funmi added. Amara nodded. Then let's make sure Jibola learns what happens when you underestimate women. If you've ever felt like you missed the red flags because you wanted love so badly, tell me in the comment. What these three women do next will change everything. Funmi's hotel penthouse became their war room. The view was beautiful. Legos spread out below them, the ocean, the buildings, the lights. But the three women weren't looking at the view. They were building a case. It had been 3 days since Valentine's Day. 3 days since their worlds collapsed. 3 days since they discovered the truth. Amara hadn't slept properly since then. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Jibola's face. That smile, those lies. She'd called in sick to work, told her boss she had food poisoning. In a way, it was true. She felt sick to her stomach, sick of herself. Okay, she said, opening her laptop. If we're doing this, we do it right. She worked in advertising. She knew how to make things go viral, how to make people pay attention. We need evidence, she continued. Everything we have. Text messages, bank statements, photos, videos. Everything. Ngozi pulled out her phone, started scrolling. I have texts where he said I was his soulmate, she said quietly. Where he talked about our future, our wedding. Her voice broke on the last word. Funmi put a hand on her shoulder. I have voice notes, Funmi said. Him talking about the children we'd have, the life we'd build, how I was different from every other woman. I have videos, Amara added, selfie videos we took together. Him saying he loved me, only me. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Amara asked the question that had been bothering her. How much money did we give him? Total. Ngozi pulled out a notebook. She'd been calculating. I gave him 75 million naira for the car, 2.3 million naira for the Rolex, 800,000 naira for clothes, 1.5 million naira for a trip to Dubai, he said, was for a medical conference. Was it a conference? Funmi asked. No, I checked. There was no medical conference that weekend. He went for fun. On my money. Amara felt her stomach turn. I paid 4.5 million naira for the apartment, she said. 600,000 naira for furniture he said he'd pay me back for. 350,000 naira in random gifts. Total 5.45 million naira. I sent 2 million naira every month for 8 months, Funmi said. That's 16 million naira, plus 3.8 million naira for furniture, plus 1.2 million naira for other things. Total 21 million naira. Gozi did the math on her calculator. 101.75 million naira, she whispered. Over 100 million naira. The number was so big it didn't feel real. That's more than some people make in their entire lives, Amara said. She felt like she might throw up. And he spent it on what? Funmi asked. Jewelry? Clothes? Other women? Other women, Ngozi said suddenly. There have to be others. He was too good at this, too practiced. She was right. Amara knew it. You don't get that good at manipulation without practice.
So we find them, we find the other women, we build a pattern. How do we find them? Let's use social media.
So, we find them, she said. We find the other women. Build a pattern. How? Funmi asked. Social media, Amara replied. We post something, vague at first. See who responds. She started typing on her laptop. I guess you're wondering how many victims a con artist really has. Keep watching. Because what they discover will shock you. The Facebook post went up that night. Amara created a fake account, posted a simple message. Warning to Lagos ladies. Be careful of a man named Jibola. Tall, handsome, says he's a doctor. He will make you feel special, ask for money, then disappear. If this sounds familiar, please DM me. You're not alone. Within 2 hours, the messages started coming. The first was from a woman named Kioma. Oh my God, I gave him 800,000 naira 2 years ago. He said he needed it for a medical emergency. Then he ghosted me. Then another. A woman named Blessing. He got 1.2 million naira from me last year. Said he needed to renew his medical license. I never heard from him again. Then another. And another. By morning, they had messages from 23 different women. 23 women. All with the same story. All played by the same man. The amounts were smaller than what Amara, Ngozi, and Funmi had given. 300,000 naira here. 500,000 naira there. 1 million naira. 800,000 naira. But it all added up. Jibola had been doing this for at least 3 years, probably longer. He wasn't just a boyfriend who got greedy. He was a professional player. I guess I'd just say he was a scammer. This was his job.
I am going to kill him,
Funmi said. She wasn't joking. No, Amara said firmly. We're going to do something better. We're going to destroy his reputation so completely that he'll never be able to do this again. How? Ngozi asked.
We go
public. All of us. We tell our story. We show our faces. We own our mistake. Yes, it was a mistake to trust him. But we show that we're not ashamed anymore. We're angry. And we're fighting back. Funmi hesitated. That's really public. My father is a senator. This could embarrass him. I know, Amara said gently, but it could also save other women. Daughters of other senators. Daughters of regular people. Everyone. Funmi took a deep breath, nodded. Okay, let's do it. They worked for 3 more days. Amara designed the campaign, made it professional, made it powerful. Ngozi hired lawyers, found out what they could legally do, what charges they could press. Funmi used her connections, called journalists she knew, called media houses, set up interviews. And through it all, Amara couldn't sleep. She'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about every moment with Jibola. The first date, he'd been charming, funny, he'd asked questions about her, seemed genuinely interested. The first time he said, "I love you," they'd been watching the sunset from her balcony. He'd held her hand and whispered it like a prayer. The first time he asked for money, he'd been so reluctant. "I hate to ask," he'd said, "but I'm in a tough spot." And she'd wanted to help. Every memory felt like poison now. Had any of it been real? Or was it all part of the con? One night, Ngozi found her on Funmi's balcony at 3 a.m. "Can't sleep?" Ngozi asked. Amara shook her head. "Me neither," Ngozi admitted. She sat down beside Amara. "I keep thinking about what I could have done differently." "Me too," Amara whispered. "Like, were there signs? Things I missed?" "Yes," Amara said. "So many signs. He never introduced me to his friends. He never talked about his family. He always had excuses when I wanted to meet his colleagues from the hospital." "He said he valued privacy," Ngozi said bitterly. "He valued secrecy," Amara corrected. "There's a difference." They sat in silence, watching Lego sleep. "Why do you think we fell for it?" Ngozi finally asked. Amara thought about it. Really thought about it. "Because we were lonely," she said. "And loneliness makes you ignore things. It makes you accept less than you deserve. Makes you believe lies because the truth is too painful." "I wasn't supposed to be lonely," Ngozi said. "I have a successful business, good friends, a nice life. But at the end of the day, I went home alone. And that hurt." "Me too," Amara agreed. "Everyone thinks because I'm independent, I don't need anyone. But wanting someone doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." "Jibola knew that," Ngozi said. "He knew we were lonely, and he used it against us." "Yes," Amara said. "He did." More silence. Then Ngozi asked, "Do you think we'll be okay after all this?" Amara didn't answer right away, because honestly, she didn't know. She felt broken, used, stupid, but she also felt something else, angry, determined, strong. "I think we'll survive," she finally said. "I think we'll heal. And I think we'll make sure no other woman has to go through this." "That's a good answer," Ngozi said softly. "Ask me again in a year," Amara replied. "We'll see if I still believe it." They sat together until the sun came up. 2 women who'd been strangers, connected by one man's betrayal, becoming friends through shared pain. The video was Funmi's idea. "If we're telling our story," she said, "we need to show our faces, make it personal, make people understand that this can happen to anyone." So they sat together in Funmi's hotel conference room, professional lighting, good camera, the 3 of them side by side, and they told their story. Funmi went first. "My name is Funmi Okafor," she said, looking directly at the camera. "I'm the daughter of Senator Okafor. I own the Nesapi Hotel. I'm successful. I'm educated. And I got played out of 21 million naira by a man who told me he loved me." Her voice was steady, strong, but Amara could see her hands shaking slightly. "I'm not sharing this to embarrass myself," Funmi continued. "I'm sharing this to warn other women, because if it can happen to me, someone with resources, connections, education, it can happen to anyone." Ngozi went next. "My name is Ngozi Adeyemi," she said. I own 3 restaurants in Lagos. I manage million naira businesses. And I gave 79 million naira to a man who made me believe I was special. She paused, took a breath. I wasn't special. I was a mark. And so were the 23 other women we found so far. Women who gave him money. Women who believed his lies. Women who thought they'd found love, but found a predator instead. Finally, Amara. My name is Amara Chukwu, she said. I work in advertising. I'm 32 years old. I'm independent, smart, careful, and I lost 5.45 million naira to a player who understood that lonely people will pay any price for connection. She looked at the camera. Imagine the women watching, the women who might be in similar situations right now. We're telling you this because we don't want you to make the same mistake, she said. If you're dating a man named Jibola, tall, light-skinned, says he's a doctor, lives in Lekki, drives a Mercedes G-Wagon, please run. He's not your boyfriend. You're just his latest investment. The video ended with a warning. And if you're a man watching this, Funmi said, thinking about pulling the same scheme, understand this. We're not just victims anymore. We're witnesses. We're fighters. Why? And we will make sure everyone knows what you are. They posted the video on February 25th at 6 p.m. By midnight, it had 300,000 views. By morning, it was everywhere. The explosion was bigger than they'd imagined. The story was on every blog, every news site, every social media platform. Senator's daughter exposes Lego's playboy doctor. 3 successful women played by one man. Fear. Fine men, the Valentine's Day. Scandal rocking Lagos. The hashtag fear fine man started trending. Not just in Nigeria, across Africa. Women started sharing their own stories. Not just about Jibola, about other men like him. Men who used looks and charm to manipulate, to hurt, to use them for selfish gains. The response was massive, but it wasn't all positive. And some people were supportive. These women are heroes for speaking up. Thank you for your bravery. This could save so many women. But others were cruel. If you're stupid enough to give millions to a boyfriend, that's on you. Rich women problems. The rest of us have real issues. They just want attention. The cruel comments hurt. Amara read them late at night when she couldn't sleep. Each one felt like a knife. Stupid, desperate, pathetic. All the things she'd been calling herself in her head. Now other people were saying them too. But then she'd read the other comments. The women saying, thank you. The women saying, this happened to me too. The women saying, you saved me. And she'd remember why they did this. Not for the people who would never understand, but for the women who needed to hear they weren't alone. So then came the call. 2 a.m. on February 28th. Amara's phone rang. She saw the name and almost didn't answer. But she did. Amara. Jibola's voice sounded different, desperate, scared. You have to take down that video. Why would I do that? Her voice was cold. Because it's ruining my life. People recognize me everywhere. Someone threw a drink in my face yesterday. I'm getting death threats. My family is being harassed. Interesting, Amara said. Did you think about ruining our lives when you were taking our money? That was different. How? She was yelling now. She didn't care. How is it different? I never forced you. You gave me that money because you wanted to. The audacity. Even now. Even after everything. You manipulated us, Amara said. Each word was sharp, clear. You lied to us, or you made us believe we were special when we were just paychecks. That's fraud, Jibola. That's a crime. I could sue you for defamation. With what money? Amara laughed. It sounded bitter even to her. Oh, wait, you don't have money because all your money came from using women, and now we want it back. You'll never get it back. I spent it. On what? Jewelry? Trips? Other women? Silence. That's what I thought, Amara said. Why are you doing this to me? Jibola asked. He sounded genuinely confused, like he couldn't understand why his actions had consequences. And that's when Amara understood something important. He really didn't get it. He really believed he'd done nothing wrong. I'm doing this, she said slowly, because you're a predator, and predators need to be stopped. I loved you. No, she interrupted. Oi, you loved my money. You loved the lifestyle I provided. But me, the actual person, you never saw me at all. She hung up. Her hands were shaking, but she felt good, strong, done with being his victim. The next day, Jibola showed up at Funmi's hotel. Security called up to the penthouse. There's a man here named Jibola. Says he needs to talk to you. Funmi looked at Amara and Ngozi. Let him up, she said. They waited. When the elevator doors opened, Jibola looked different. His hair was messy. He was wearing wrinkled clothes, the same clothes from 2 days ago. He looked broken. I'll give everything back, he said immediately. The car, the furniture, whatever money I have left, just please take down the video. Everything? Ngozi asked. You have 100 million naira lying around. I have 8 million naira left. And the jewelry, the watches, I can sell them. 8 million naira, Funmi repeated slowly. Out of 100 million naira, where did the rest go? Jibola looked down, wouldn't meet their eyes. Living expenses, trips, gifts. For who? Amara demanded. For other women. The admission hung in the air. How many? Ngozi asked quietly. Currently, 5. 5? Funmi's voice shook. 5 women, all at the same time? It wasn't serious with them. It wasn't serious with any of us, Amara yelled. We were all just sources of income. Jibola finally looked up, and for the first time he looked genuinely sorry. I know, he said quietly. I know what I did, and I'm sorry. I really am. I got caught up in the lifestyle, in the money, in feeling important. You're a doctor, Ngozi said. You could be important. You could help people, save lives. Yeah, but instead, you chose to be a parasite. I know, Jibola said again. Do you? Amara asked. Do you really understand what you did to us? The humiliation? The betrayal? The way you made us doubt ourselves? I can't sleep, Amara continued. Her voice was shaking but strong. I lie awake at night wondering how I could be so stupid. Wondering what was wrong with me that I couldn't see through you. Wondering if I'll ever trust anyone again. Me too, Ngozi added. I look at every interaction now and wonder, is this person lying? Are they using me? Because you taught me that people can smile and lie at the same time. And Funmi's voice broke. I was so lonely. My mother is dead. My father is never around. I thought you actually cared about me, but I was just another wallet to you. Jibola stood there, taking their pain, their anger. I'm sorry, he whispered. Sorry isn't enough, Funmi said. She pulled out a folder, handed it to him. Here's what's going to happen, she said. You're going to sign over the Mercedes to Ngozi. You're going to return every piece of furniture to me. You're going to give us whatever money you have left. Okay, Jibola agreed quickly. Then, Amara continued, you're going to contact every woman you've used for your selfish gains in the last 3 years. You're going to apologize, and you're going to pay them back. That could be dozens of women. I don't have that kind of money. Then get a job, Ngozi said coldly. Use that medical degree. Work in a hospital and use your salary to pay back every woman you hurt, even if it takes the rest of your life. Jibola's face went pale. That could take decades. Then you better start now, Funmi said. And if I don't, then we make sure this story follows you everywhere, Amara said. Every job has an application, every new relationship, every fresh start will be there to remind people who you really are. Jibola stood there, the weight of his choices finally crushing him. What about the video? He asked quietly.
It stays up forever.
Funmi said firmly. Forever. Consider it a warning label. But my life? Your life? Ngozi's voice was hard. You destroyed ours. You took our money, our trust, our self-respect. And now you're worried about your life. I just wanted to live well, Jibola said weakly. Then you should have earned it, Amara replied. Not stolen it. Silence. Finally, Jibola nodded. I'll do it, he said. I'll do all of it. Good, Funmi said. Our lawyer will send you the paperwork. As Jibola turned to leave, Amara spoke one last time. Jibola, he turned. You could have been something real, she said. A good doctor, a good man, someone who mattered. Instead, you're just a story we tell to warn other women. I hope one day that bothers you. He looked at her, then walked out. The door closed. And it was over. Like, subscribe and let us know in the comment if you think karma is real. And if you believe that people always face consequences for their actions. Because what happens next proves it. 3 months later, Amara sat in a cafe in Ikoyi, the same cafe where she used to meet Jibola for lunch dates. But she wasn't meeting him today. She was meeting Ngozi and Funmi, her friends. The scandal had died down. Legoshad moved on to the next drama, but the ripples remained. Jibola had signed over everything. The car was sold, the furniture returned, the 8 million naira divided between the three of them and other victims. It wasn't much, not compared to what they'd lost, but it was something. More importantly, Jibola was working now, actually working, at a small hospital in Ibadan. Amara had heard he was paying back the women he had scammed. Slowly. 50,000 naira here, 100,000 naira there. It would take years, maybe decades, but he was doing it. And the video? It had over 2 million views now. It had become a warning, a lesson, a reminder. Ngozi arrived first. She looked good, happy. She'd opened a 4th restaurant last month. Traffic was terrible, she said, hugging Amara. When is it not? Amara replied, laughing. Funmi came in 5 minutes later. She was glowing. Sorry, I'm late. Hotel meeting. They ordered coffee. Ida talked about their lives, their work. They'd become real friends, not just women bonded by trauma, but actual friends who genuinely cared about each other. I got a message from Jibola yesterday, Ngozi said. Both Amara and Funmi looked up sharply. He wants to apologize, Ngozi continued. Properly. Says he's been in therapy, working on himself. He asked if we'd meet with him. Absolutely not, Funmi said immediately. That's what I thought at first, Ngozi admitted. But then I realized something. I don't need his apology. I don't need anything from him. She looked at them both. I have you two. I have my business doing better than ever. I have my self-respect back. What could Jibola possibly give me that I don't already have? Amara felt warmth in her chest. So, what did you tell him? She asked. I told him that if he's genuinely sorry, he should keep working on himself, keep paying back the women he hurt, but that his journey isn't my responsibility anymore. I'm done carrying his weight. Good for you, Funmi said, raising her coffee cup. To being done with trash. They clinked cups. You know what's funny, Amara said. I used to think the worst thing was being alone, being successful but lonely. That fear made me vulnerable to Jibola. And now? Ngozi asked. Now I know there are worse things than being alone, like being with someone who doesn't value you, like losing yourself trying to earn love from someone who can't give it. She smiled. I'm not afraid of being alone anymore, because I'm not alone. I have friends, family, a life I built myself, and that's enough. More than enough, Funmi agreed. It's everything. They sat in comfortable silence. 3 women who'd been broken, but who'd rebuilt themselves stronger. The cafe door opened. A young woman walked in, early 20s. She looked around nervously. Then she walked towards their table. Excuse me, she said quietly. Are you the women from the video? The ones who exposed Dr. Jibola? They exchanged glances. Yes, Amira said gently. That's us. Tears filled the young woman's eyes. Thank you, she whispered. I was dating someone just like him, and watching your video gave me the courage to leave. You saved me. Funmi stood up, hugged the girl. You saved yourself, she said. We just showed you it was possible. The young woman smiled, thanked them again, left. That's the 6th person this month, Ngozi noted. Good, Amara said. That means it's working. They finished their coffee, talked about the future, made plans to meet again next week. As Amara walked out into the Lego sunshine, she thought about her journey. The fall, the heartbreak, the humiliation, but also the rise, the fight, the healing. She thought about the woman she'd been before Jibola, lonely, desperate for love, willing to ignore red flags, and the woman she was now, stronger, wiser, surrounded by real love from real friends. The journey hadn't been easy, but it had been necessary. And somewhere in Ibadan, Jibola was living with his choices, working, paying back his victims, facing who he really was. Amara didn't know if he'd truly changed, but she knew that she had, and that was enough. 6 months later, the Funmi
Romance
Okafor
fraud devastates
Foundation for
lives.
Romance
We must
Fraud
raise awareness and
Victims
support victims.
opened in Victoria
Please
Island.
help us.
The opening was big. Press everywhere, supporters, women who'd found courage in their story. Funmi stood at the podium, Amara and Ngozi beside her. People say, fear women, Funmi said to the crowd. But the truth is, fear fine men, fear the ones who use their looks as weapons, who see your success and decide to take it, who treat love like a business transaction. She paused, looked at her friends. But more than fear, we need solidarity. When one woman falls,
We
we
women
lift her
need
up.
to help
When
each other
one woman
rise.
speaks out, we listen. When one woman fights back,
We women need to
stand
stick
with her.
together.
Applause filled the room, and in that moment, Amara knew they'd won, not just against Jibola, but against the shame that keeps women silent. They'd turned their worst experience into their greatest strength, and they'd made sure no other woman would face a predator like Jibola alone. Love should never cost you everything. Real love builds you up. It doesn't drain you. Being handsome doesn't make someone good. Beauty can be a weapon. Don't let it blind you. Shame keeps predators safe. When you speak up, you protect others. You're stronger together. 3 women alone were victims. 3 women together became warriors. Your worth isn't determined by who loves you. It's determined by how you love yourself. If this story touched your heart, if you've ever trusted the wrong person, If you've ever wondered if you should speak up about being hurt, comment below. Your story matters. And together, we make sure predators can't hide anymore. Because yes, fear women, but fear accountability more. Fear consequences. Like fear the moment when the women you hurt decide they're done being victims. That's what you should really fear. And let me know if you want me to publish your story. I won't have to mention your name. It can be anonymous.